Good morning, everyone. We are going to be starting Act 1, Scene 4 today. So we're on page 11 of our play that's in Canvas and in Google Classroom here. If you remember, at the end of Scene 3, Macbeth and Banquo went and met the witches. And the witches had some prophecies for both of them. And Macbeth kind of freaked out a little bit, but he also is having like some dark thoughts of, if they're telling me I'm going to be king, I don't want to wait. And now he's having these thoughts of killing Duncan. But then he's like, no, I really shouldn't. And so he's kind of in, like that little quandary of, fate versus free will here, and a little bit of angst going on. And so that's where we're going to start with Scene 4. And we're back in Forest at the palace. And we're going to be back with King Duncan, his two sons, Malcolm and Donalbain, and then like some attendants such as like Lennox and those other dudes. So here we go. You're going with the music. Oh, yeah.
Act 1, Scene 4. A room in the royal palace of Forres. Enter King Duncan, Malcolm, Donalbain, Lennox, and the king's entourage of attendants.
Is execution done on Cawdor? Are not those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they are not yet come back. But I have spoke with one that saw him die, who did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became him like the leaving it. He died as one that had been studied in his death, to throw away the dearest thing he owed as 'twere a careless trifle.
There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust.
Enter Macbeth, Banquo, Ross, and Angus.
All right. So Duncan asks his son, he's like, hey, what happened with the Thane of Cawdor? Is he dead yet? Like I ordered? Because remember that the Thane of Cawdor was our second traitor. MacDonald was our first one, and the Thane of Cawdor was the second one, and now Macbeth's going to be the third one. And he is going to be put to death because of being a traitor. And his son Malcolm's just like, well, they haven't come back, but yes, he's dead. The Thane of Cawdor did die. But you know what? The reports say that when they put him to death, he took it well. He was actually a gentleman about it. Although he was a traitor when he was alive, as he was being put to death, like right before, like with the last words and everything, he apologized. And he's like, I was wrong. I should not have tried to commit treason. I deserve this punishment. God save the king. And yeah, I deserve this. And so Malcolm's just like, he died with nobility and dignity. And not a lot of people would do that. That's really difficult for humans to go and admit when they're wrong and to actually be sorry. It's one thing to say that you're sorry, but to actually feel sorrow for it and regret, that's another thing. That's intense. And so good for the Thane of Cawdor, who did realize his error. A little too late, but still he did realize the error and said he was sorry. So at least we have that. And then Duncan says that, wow, you can never really tell what a murderer looks like. And then we have some dramatic irony there, because who's the first person who enters? Macbeth! Because we have a third traitor in our midst that Duncan does not know. Macbeth, his best thane, is planning Duncan's demise. Dun, dun, dun.
O worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now was heavy on me. Thou art so far before that swiftest wing of recompense is slow to overtake thee. Would thou hadst less deserved, that the proportion both of thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say, more is thy due than more than all can pay.
The service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your Highness' part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state children and servants, which do but what they should by doing everything safe towards your love and honor.
So Duncan goes and he's like, Macbeth, my best thane ever. I adore you. And he's like, because of you and Banquo, you're the reason I'm still king. And I really appreciate you. What can I do in order to tell you and show you how much I appreciate you? And Macbeth's just all like, any good thane would have done this for you. He's like, any loyal servant would have done the exact same thing, although, I did do it a little bit better than everyone else. But, any loyal servant would have done this. So he's totally like brown nosing him. Okay, whatever.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee, and will labour to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, that hast no less deserved, nor must be known no less to have done so, let me enfold thee, and hold thee to my heart.
There, if I grow, the harvest is your own.
And he's like, Banquo, I can't leave you out, man. You also are the reason I am still king, and I really appreciate you. Come on in for a hug. A celebratory hug. Why is Macbeth getting all of the good stuff? Of just like, oh, all this praise. And then we have Banquo was like, let me give you a hug. I don't know. I am going to just say it right now. I'm a much more bitter person than Banquo. I'd be like, really, a hug? That's it? No, I probably wouldn't say it to his face, but I'd be like, really? I'm good. Thanks. Thanks. No. Let's see what else he has to say. Maybe it'll get better after the celebratory hug.
My plenteous joys, wanton in fullness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and you whose places are the nearest, know we will establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland, which honour must not unaccompanied invest him only, but signs of nobleness, like stars, shall shine on all deservers, from hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you.
Did y'all just pick up on that? So Macbeth thinks that he has done absolutely everything in his power to become the next king. He's the most powerful thane. Duncan loves him. I mean, he didn't get a celebratory hug, but still. So he is like he's following all the rules. He's doing all the right things. His other option, though, is to go and usurp him with the popular vote of the thanes, to just go to the thanes and be like, hey, I am the most powerful person in the land. This is great. I should be the next king. Duncan's kind of on its way out. Why don't you go and make me king? He could do that too. But then Duncan goes and says, you know what? I know that I'm not supposed to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to choose the next king. And Macbeth's just all like, oh, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. And then he says, the next king shall be my son Malcolm. What? Like, okay, Malcolm did go and fight against the Vikings, but he was, I don't know, out of like all of the important things, he's like number 47. He's not even in like the top 5. 47th place is important, but still, what the heck? That's super unfair of Duncan. It's unheard of in this time period, especially in Scotland. Remember, it's not the hierarchy of whoever's the eldest son, because Malcolm is the eldest son. No! Duncan's supposed to go and consult the Thanes. The Thanes are supposed to decide who's going to be the next king. And he's just all like, nope, it's going to be my kid. So now, if Macbeth wants to be king, I mean, Duncan, at least he's older, but Malcolm, he's young. I mean, let's face it, for back then, anybody could die at any time, but still, if he wants to be king, he kind of has to kill Duncan now before everybody finds out that Malcolm is supposed to become the next king. He's on a time crunch now, you guys. And then at the end of that, he's just like, Macbeth, I'm going to reward you, not with a celebratory hug. I'm going to come and stay at your house tomorrow. It's going to be a sleepover. You're welcome. Go, 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 go. Your wife doesn't know. You don't have any food prepared. You haven't been home to clean your house. Well, I mean, he's going to have servants for that, but still. Yeah, can you imagine Lady Macbeth being like, it's not like he can go and like text her or call her and be like, honey, the king's coming. No, he has to go on his horse to Inverness and be like, hey, the king's coming in a few hours. Oh, yeah, and he's bringing the entourage. Not just the family, the entire entourage. So it's the entire castle is coming to Macbeth's castle. Yeah, they would definitely show up with cousins. There's going to be like 200 people there, and they haven't prepared at all. And that's his thank you. Duncan, I liked you, my man, but you got to give him like a week's worth of time or something. And also, by the way, the Macbeths would have to go and give up their bedroom probably, unless they had like a room set aside. I don't know, it is a castle, but generally for people back then, they'd go and give up like the best bedroom. And of course, it's going to be your own bedroom. They'd have to go and like give up their bedroom. And they don't have food. I'm furious at this point. And I'm not even there. Let's see how Macbeth reacts. It's not like he can be like, hey, can we move that to next week? It's the king. You don't tell the king no.
The rest is labour which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger, and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
The Prince of Cumberland. That is a step on which I must fall down, or else o'erleap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires. The eye wink at the hand, yet let that be, which the eye fears when it is done to see.
Macbeth leaves.
All right, so that was his first soliloquy, where it means they kind of go and like have everybody kind of like melt away into the darkness. It's much easier to do it now with, like electricity and everything like that, but he's supposed to be like alone on the stage for this. And we get to hear his innermost thoughts, and he's a little mad, understandably so. And so he then he says he is full of black and deep desires. So he's like, yeah, I want to kill him now. Like, it was bad for me to want to kill him before. He's like, I really want to kill him now. I don't even feel bad. And so then he asks for the night to be totally black and to not have any starlight in order to go and hide his sin as he goes and slicey dices King Duncan. Ooh, that's kind of intense there. And he's like seemingly imagining what the night will look like when he goes and kills Duncan. And this also goes in, I always just kind of think of like with the Star Wars reference when Anakin is in the process of like going on into his transformation of Darth Vader and going on over to the dark side. And you know how they did that where he has like the reddish eyes going on. I just kind of imagine Macbeth having that at that moment and him just being like super intense at that point. And he's just all like, all right, let me go tell my wife. Bye. See you tomorrow at my house. And he leaves. Now watch what Duncan says.
True, worthy Banquo. He is full so valiant, and in his commendations I am fed. It is a banquet to me. Let's after him, whose care is gone before to bid us welcome. It is a peerless kinsman.
as Macbeth leaves, Duncan's just like, wow, Banquo, Macbeth is just like my favorite thing ever. He is just so amazing and great and wonderful. And I just feel so safe with him. And so that, you guys, is known as dramatic irony. Because Duncan has no clue that a third Thane is planning his demise and planning all of this treachery. Whew. So that's scene 4. Scene 5, we get to meet one of my favorite characters ever in literature, Lady Macbeth. And Lady Macbeth is super cool simply because she is the first female character to have depth. So she's a 3D character. She has wants, she has desires. It's not just a matter of her being there and being kind of a caricature. I mean, let's look at like Ophelia from Hamlet from last year. Yes, she did bite the dust, but she was very one-dimensional. You know, there wasn't a ton to her. She just did whatever her dad said and then went insane afterwards. And yeah, stuff just happened to her. I mean, even with Juliet, you know, yeah, right. Yes. Yeah, she totally has to just go with whatever the males say. And Lady Macbeth she's a woman. She do what she won't. All right. And I just love her. Still to this day, actresses, if they get the chance to go and play Lady Macbeth, that is like the pinnacle of their career because she is so highly regarded still to this day, which is kind of cool. Yeah, she does have some great lines. Oh, love her.
Act 1, Scene 5. Macbeth's castle at Inverness. Enter Lady Macbeth, reading a letter.
They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfectest report they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves air, into which they vanished. Whilst I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters saluted me, and referred me to the coming on of time with Hail, King that shalt be. This have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightest not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart, and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet do I fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way.
All right. I love Lady Macbeth. She's so great. What's she doing when she enters or she comes on stage? She's reading a letter. This is huge, you guys, because most females, even in Shakespeare's time, didn't know how to read. And so, like, we now just take it for granted. Okay, yeah, people could read. Who can't, you know? Although, you know, literacy is still a very big deal. This would have been mind-blowing for the audience members because they immediately would know that she's extraordinarily intelligent because she can read. It's pretty cool. After reading his letter, she shares her very dark, very black and ambitious thoughts. And she's just all like, I like this. You know, he goes and recaps, you know, what the witches said. And she's like, all right, yeah, you are Glamis. I like that you are the Thane of Cawdor. And darn it, You will be king. We are going to make this happen. And then she says, even though Macbeth is a very fearless leader out on the battlefield, and he's also ambitious, so like out of all the things, he's the next natural king. He's the next natural choice for king. She's like, I don't think he's going to be able to go and kill Duncan in cold blood because he's too kind-hearted. He's too nice. Yes, out on the battlefield, he goes and is just a machine with killing people, but that's his job. So I always kind of think of like Mr. Incredible from The Incredibles, like how he's all just like larger than life and, just over the top with everything. And then he comes home and he's just all like, he's a normal dude, And that's kind of how Macbeth is. Now let's go and look at their marriage, even though we haven't seen them interact. Do they have a good marriage or a bad marriage?
My bet's on bad.
What was that?
My bets are on it's a bad marriage.
So we have one vote of a bad marriage. So we have, this I have thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightst not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart and farewell. Does that sound like they have a pretty good marriage or a pretty bad marriage? He's saying, I want you to know, my dearest partner of greatness. They have a good marriage. They have a very good marriage, and also unheard of in Macbeth's time, plus in Shakespeare's time, they view each other as equals. That's not.
What? For real?
Yeah, I know, right? It's just like, that never happens. So what? It's amazing. They have a phenomenal marriage and they see each other as equals. And he's like, I have so much news. I can't wait to see you in person. And so I have to share this because you're the most important person in my life. Oh, it's marriage goals right there. Although they're planning on murdering a king. That's not marriage goals. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Is that going to be a bonding experience? Is that I don't want to know from personal experience. I don't want to know. I'm going to go with no. But short-term date night ideas, bad date night ideas, Just, what do you want to do tonight, honey? I don't know. Kill the king? No. So now let's see what else she thinks now that she has gotten done reading his letter. Oh, they have a good marriage. I love that. That's so great. Yay. Goals.
Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, that wouldst thou holily, wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Thou'dst have great glams, that which cries, thus thou must do, if thou have it, and that which rather thou dost fear to do than wishest should be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valour of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal.
So she's just like, Macbeth, my boo, I want you to come home. So that way she can start whispering and persuading him to do what she knows is the right thing to do. Because she knows she's going to look good in a crown. Queen Lady Macbeth. I mean, that wouldn't be her title, but her real name is something I can't pronounce. It looks like Grouch, but it's Gaelic. And I am not fluent in Gaelic. So if anyone wants to go and like figure that one out for me and let me know, I would appreciate it. It's like Grach or something like that. Queen Grach. Emphasis on the. So she says, The king must die, according to her, as well as fate. They really are just like goals, like marriage goals. They are definitely suited for one another, you know? And now a messenger is going to come in, and what do you think the messenger is going to go and tell us? Oh gosh. Remember, what did Duncan say as Macbeth's reward? Sleepover!
A servant enters.
What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou'rt mad to say it. Is not thy master with him? Who, wert so, would have informed for preparation?
So please you, it is true. Our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, who, almost dead for breath, had scarcely more than would make up his message.
Give him tending. He brings great news.
The servant leaves.
I love this lady. She's so great. With her, just her voice, she's so awesome. He brings great news. She's like, oh, I'm so excited. So, you know, the messenger comes out and she's like, what? What's going on? She's like, hey, guess what? The king's coming. And she's like, no. Right, it is so much easier to kill him when he's there. She's like, this is just lighting up. Like, everything's just so awesome right now. So how I was just like, I would be mad if the king was just all like, we're having a sleepover, I'm coming on over, and you're gonna have to go and like feed everybody and my entire entourage and everything. I'd be mad. And she's just like, yes, get out the knives, you know, get out all of the all the murder implements. I don't know if they have a room or something. I don't know. Right there, yeah, it will be messy, especially with the way Macbeth goes and kills upon the battlefield. He goes and unseams somebody. Oh God, what if he unseams Duncan? He better not. No, that's kind of like his signature move. That's just like, no, that's a bit much. No, he can't do that. So she's just like, this is so convenient. This is great. And Macbeth is coming too, so he's gonna be coming on in.
The raven himself is hoarse that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood, stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the fect and it. Come to my woman's breasts, and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pull thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, hold.
She's a little intense, isn't she? She's a bit, see how she's like very like three-dimensional already? This is her first scene and already people are like, dang girl. What's that? Right. Yes, it would be metaphorical. So that's an excellent question. That is going to be something that she is, we're definitely talking gender roles here and, you know, like what women are known for, especially for this time period. But she is just, she's killing those gender roles right now. Dang. All of the females so far in this play have not conformed to gender roles. And remember that this is written in the early 1600s. Go Shakespeare. Yeah, why not? That's pretty awesome. Like the Three Witches and Lady Macbeth, and that was just revolutionary at the time. Yeah, me too. So Lady Macbeth sees this as fate telling her to kill Duncan. She's just like, I can't not kill Duncan. Like, all of the signs are pointing to yes. You know, like if she had that magic 8 ball, it's a yes. It's a yes from them. So she goes and calls on the spirits to be more like a man than a woman so she can be cruel and remorseless. Dang, what does she feel about males? Mm. But she also kind of like digs it. She's like, yeah, I want to be like that. Those are my life goals. And she wants gall, which would be bile. And that was traditionally like associated with envy and hatred, and she wants that to go and replace it with the metaphorical milk within her breast so she can go through with the killing. She's like, take away all like femininity within me and make me into a murder machine. I do not want to cross this lady ever. And then she wants the night to be just as black so it will hide her sins, just like Macbeth did in the previous scene. And she's like, I know that it's wrong. I know that heaven will try to stop me, but heaven, don't look because I want this and I will do anything to make this happen. Wow. So she seems pretty well matched with Macbeth. Like, this is a love match, you guys. This is a love match. I, usually I'm all about, like, you know, couple goals and everything. And yeah, goals and that they're a power couple. Absolutely. But, ooh, this is a bit much, and I don't know. It's a lot easier to go and say that you're going to go and do something than the reality of it. It's like yesterday I was going and talking about the Great Gatsby, and I was talking about how much I hate Daisy. And I was like, I just want to punch her in the face. Now, if Daisy Buchanan actually existed and she was right in front of me, would I go and punch her in the face? No, absolutely not. I'm not a violent person. I don't. No. Right. It's easy to seem big when no one's around you, and it's a lot easier to go and talk a big game. She is seriously just like, come thick night and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes. She's like, she is seriously like plotting all of the times that she's gonna be stabbing Duncan. Girl, he did not do a thing to you except be king. Like, dang, that's wow. So now we get to see the two of them together. Oh, we get to see the two lovers planning their next date night.
Macbeth enters.
Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both by the all-hail hereafter, thy letters have transported me beyond the ignorant present, and I feel now the future in an instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Okay, so first, can we just pause for a moment and just love how they greeted each other? That was so cute. They haven't seen each other since the battle. He's been away for weeks. And she is genuinely excited to see him, and he is as well. She's like, "Oh, my great Glums, my worthy Cawdor." She's like, "I am just so excited to see you, not just because of the letter, but I'm so in love with my husband." Aw, that's so cute. And then he returns it by saying, "My dearest love." That's cute. I'm sorry. Like, I'm shipping this. This is adorable, and I'm glad that they're together, but don't kill the king. They really are the most romantic murderers ever. They're just plotting at this point. They're just plotting. There's just plans. It's just plans. They're not, yeah, it's not like they had the internet. You know, they're bored. A sports activity, maybe a puzzle, that would have helped. So Macbeth's just like, honey, I have some news. Duncan's coming. She's like, I know. And she's like, well, when is he leaving? Like, how much time do we have? And he's like, he's only spending one night and one night only here. So if they are going to kill him, it has to be tonight. Because let's face it, it's going to be the easiest to go and kill them in their own home. You know, they know exactly where all of the creeks in the castle are and everything. So, oh, I mean, things are moving fast. Let's see what happens. Can they pull it off?
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters.
Can we just say how intense she is? Like, wow. She's like, "Mwahaha, he'll never see another sunrise." Wow. And then she's like, I'm just so excited. And I always kind of picture like Jessie from Saved by the Bell when she's on the caffeine pills and she's like, I'm so excited. You know, then she starts crying and everything. It's like right before she starts crying. That's where Lady Macbeth is. And she's like, he's going to die tonight. That's what we're doing. And she's like, honey, we need to talk. We need to talk about something though.
To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to all our nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favour ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
Yes, she did. She's like, honey, I love you. You complete me. But I know you. You won't do this. So I've got this. You just follow my lead. She's like, but we have to talk about this. We've got to talk about this. Your face. She's like, we've played poker together, honey. And guess what? Every single plan, every single thought, people can read your face like a book. Yeah, very Bonnie and Clyde vibes. Yes, absolutely. She's like, so you need to go and hide your face. You need to go and make sure that you get control over this. She's like, and I know that you are just so amazing on the battlefield. But sweetheart, guess who's really in charge here? It's not you. She's like, so I need you to man up and kill the king tonight. Okay? Then gives him a little kiss. She's like, okay, see you later. And then she's like, act natural so that way people don't suspect. So this is totally like a game of Among Us, you know, like who is, well, we already know who's sus right now, you know. Who's going to be killing the king is going to be Lady Macbeth and Macbeth here, but, you know, they're a little sus, but they have to make sure that they don't appear as such right now. And it's very interesting that we already have those reversals of gender roles for the females, but we're also seeing them for the males now too. Also quite revolutionary. Right, wives did not tell their husbands what to do, and also to go and tell him to man up. I mean, that's atrocious. Don't know. I mean, that's terrible. And that it's just no. But you know, it also they do have such a good relationship. I feel that they're comfortable enough in order to like call each other out on their shortcomings, although I don't feel that that's a shortcoming, but what they would view as a shortcoming. And it makes me kind of wonder, did Shakespeare what did Shakespeare and his wife Anne Hathaway, what kind of relationship did they have? You know, like did they see each other as equals? That'd be so cool. And I don't know the answer to that, but I feel that that's really cool. So that is the end of scenes 4 and 5. We're going to be starting scene 6. No, not tomorrow. On Monday. I was like, wait, what is today? Today's Friday. And we'll see. Do they do it? Do they not? What's going to happen? Oh my. So we'll have to read on to find out.